So that really weird looking shape, if you look at it, the one that looks like this, some of you might try to put off or shade to the very end, which is probably totally normal. But try to imagine this shape without its curves. Like if I drew this shape and then, you know, the top didn't have these curves and this weird gouge and this weird bottom, it would kind of look like a gold bar in shape. And that might be easy to kind of sketch first. So if I kind of approach it, the front of it's kind of got like this trapezoid look, kind of tilted trapezoid. So let me kind of draw something out that's a trapezoid shape. And then let's see if I can get it a little bit more zoomed in. And then it goes back at an angle. And they would be kind of parallel lines going back. So I want to make sure that they're going at the same angle. And then I've got the back line. It's a little bit more angled back, just a little bit from the picture, but this side is angled much steeper, what I can tell. And notice I'm drawing kind of light so I can get the shape that I want. It's got like this weird parabola thing on the top. I probably should make it a little bit longer back, I think. So I've got this kind of like parabola shape here. And if I follow the middle of that parabola, this side also goes to about the middle there. And then it stretches back further. It's got a weirder second part. To connect their centers to centers. And then I've got a weird curve to like kind of cut out here. And then I can just go back and kind of darken in with more confidence where the lines are. And then of course add some to it. So when you're working with more complicated shapes, it's about breaking it down as best as you can into smaller pieces so that you can tackle it a piece at a time and kind of feel confident with each piece that you're drawing and then connect. And then the shading kind of gives it the rest of the look for it. I always recommend pulling further back on, like when I draw closer here, but when I shade, I go further back on the pencil so that I'm not shading too dark. You want to be kind of light with your motions at first, especially so that you can you don't make too dark lines, because it's easy to erase a light line, but it's hard to erase a dark line you didn't mean to make. And then you can always come back later and darken them in. Give it a more realistic look. You might wonder, why are we sketching in an engineering class? I thought it was an engineering class, not an art class. And that's a fair enough thought. The reason is as an engineer, you are often working in groups. And so you're gonna have to often share your ideas with others. Now you can try to verbally describe an idea and they might understand what you're talking about, especially, you know, since you guys will speak the same kind of technological language many times. But you may not always. You may be working with scientists or engineers of different fields, so you might have a harder time describing to them what you're thinking. So it would be a useful skill to be able to sketch out your idea. And even sketching without shading, you can usually share your idea fairly well. So it's not like sketching is a necessity as an engineer. It certainly isn't, it is a useful skill. It'd be like, do you need to be bilingual to be an engineer? No, but if you were, that would be something useful if you were to be in a group that had an international reach in markets to be able to speak a different language. So there are, multiple skills that can help you in different businesses, and being able to sketch your ideas is definitely a helpful piece. So I wanted to share that with you. And did anybody else have some other ones that they wanted me to sketch as an example?
Yeah, sure. I can't draw that triangle thing, the square pyramid.
This one? That one?
Yeah, that one.
To do that one, I just pick a point and I make an angle to the left. And then there's an angle down here in the middle, but it's a little bit off-centered. So I kind of go off to the side a little bit. And then I make my third angle a little bit further away from that one. And then I just come in and connect them. And if you don't like the way it looks, you can come back and say, no, you know what, that's too far down. And you can change them, one line at a time. Or maybe, this one needs to be more out. You can come in and change them a little bit at a time. The first video I did show how to do that pyramid. I always suggest being very light with your first lines and then coming back darker. This way, if you don't like what you're looking at, it's so easy to erase it and change direction. And then when you like the way it looks, even if it's not perfect, if it's good enough, then you can come back and darken in those lines. Any other examples?
Does it have to be to like that size, or can it be like a little bit bigger?
No, you can make it a different size. Don't make it too small though. Yeah, I mean, you can even tell the difference between this one I did and that one. They're a little bit different, and that's fine. There's going to be little subtle differences.
Does the angle and the shadowing apply?
Does angling? So the angles are kind of, think about where the sun would be relative to this. So like the sun would be somewhat over here, making a glare. This side would get darker, so you'd want to put more pressure with your pencil on this side. I think you could even see the back of it a little bit. So any other examples you'd like to see?
Wait, sir. Like what you said with the sun, right? So wouldn't you like put shadows like by it?
Oh, you mean like a shadow casting? Yeah, you could cast a shadow.
Okay.
If you want to. Yeah, you could put shadows on all of them if you'd like to do that. If there's no more questions, feel free to contact me again on Remind or send me an email through Canvas if you have further questions about how to submit this assignment.